Calling together all amateur radio operators, this is the weekly net of the M17 Project, on Ed, November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta, and I will be your net control station for this session. This net meets weekly on Fridays at 1700 hours UTC by the means of the M17 Charlie Reflector. The purpose of this net is to relay and share information in regards to the M17 project. M17 is a new digital radio protocol in development as an alternative to those currently available, with freedom in mind. Freedom in the code, protocol, voice codecs, and hardware. The goal is to provide a better option for digital radios in the future. We encourage all amateur radio operators to check into this net. We will take check-ins followed by an informal roundtable to discuss all things M17 related. I will now stand by for check-ins. Please give me your call sign using proper ITU phonetics, followed by your name and location, and if you have any information for the net.
This is Kilo Charlie 1 Alpha Whiskey Victor, KC1AWV Steve, Boston, Massachusetts, no traffic.
This is N2GYN, Long Island, New York, no traffic.
This is K9FH, Kilo 9, Foxtrot Hotel, near Chicago, no traffic.
Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa, Wojciech, Warsaw, Poland, no traffic right now.
This is India Uniform 2, Kilo India November from Milan, Italy. I have some traffic for the net, to you, net control.
Okay, it sounds like we might have a little technical difficulties there. The net wishes to recognize Steve, KC1AWV, and John, N2GYN. Anybody copying net control?
I copy net control. This is Kilo 9, Foxtrot Hotel.
Copying net control just fine, N2GYN.
This is KC1AWV. I would suggest that people, when checking in or talking or keying up, make sure you give about 2 or 3 seconds before you key up. The network is running several different systems together all at once. If we do keying too fast, it could possibly cause some network congestion. This is KC1AWV, back to net control.
Okay, so I grabbed the wrong microphone, and I just had a whole conversation with the people on 17 meters. All right, let's try this again. Net control wishes to recognize KC1AWV, N2GYN, and K9FH. If you would like to check into this week's session of the M17 Project Network, please key your mic, wait 3 seconds, and then give me your call sign phonetically using the proper ITU phonetics, followed by your name and location, and if you have any traffic for the net. I will now take check-ins.
November 8, Victor, November, Romeo, Kevin in Hillsborough, North Carolina, via DMR, no traffic.
Sierra Papa 5 Whiskey Papa, Wojciech, transmitting from Warsaw, Poland, using the Allstar Node tracking right now.
India Uniform 2, Kilo India November from Milan, Italy. I have some traffic for the net. To you, net control.
Okay, sorry about the technical difficulties here, guys. Net Control wishes to recognize Kevin, N8BNR, and ST5WWP. Any further check-ins?
India Uniform 2, Kilo India November from Milan, Italy. No traffic.
Okay, guys, I'm switching over to DroidStar. Not sure if this is making any difference on my audio. Steve, can you give me a quick audio check, KC1AWV?
Very nice audio, not distorted.
Okay, thank you for that, Wojciech. I was coming in originally through Allstar, so the analog to digital mixture, I don't think was the right formula. All right. I have any other check-ins of this week's M17 Project Net? Please come now.
India Uniform 2, Kilo India November from Milan, Italy. Some traffic. Can you receive my QSO to you?
Yes, Nico, I got you perfect that time. Thank you for checking in with us. U2KIN recognized. Any further check-ins? Okay, we'll hold up there. And Nico, right now you're the only one with traffic, so I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and proceed.
IU2KIN, how do you copy net N2XDD?
Yeah, sorry, probably I missed the last message that you did, but now I'm copying correctly, so I hear you very well. To unit control.
Okay, Nico, thank you for the signal report there. Please go ahead and give us your traffic.
Okay, India Uniform 2 Kilo India November here. So, what I wanted to share with the M17 Net today is about first the fact that I'm looking forward to preparing myself an Oscar 100 setup so that we can do a first half duplex and then bidirectional QSO using that satellite. That would be very cool. I want to tag along with Wojciech SP5WWP to be able to accomplish this. And secondly, regarding the OpenRTX side, which it's not like the, strictly speaking the topic of this net, but it's really strongly tied with the M17 project. In fact, we are trying to implement M17 on our radios. I wanted to just to give some quick updates. We've had some interesting things this week. Some more people are joining in the development effort, which is very good. Because once in a while you see things, new features are pushed by the community and not by yourself. And furthermore, we are working to port everything to the Yaesu FT2D and the other similar radios like the FT1D and the FT3D, and we managed to capture the communication of a firmware update. So we will dig to start decompiling the original firmware, and hopefully on those radios M17 will be possible without hardware modification. So this is it. To unit control, if you have some questions.
Hi, Nico. Thank you for the update on the OpenRTX project. It's great that that you guys have helped out here with M17, and we hope to help you out in the future as well. Does anybody have any questions for Nico in regards to his OpenRTX and M17 project updates this week? Please come now. All right. Doesn't seem to be any questions or comments in regards to Nico's transmission. Do I have anybody else with any traffic or any questions or comments in regards to the M17 project or possibly the OpenRTX group's project? Please call net control. This is N2XDD.
KC1AWV.
I've been waiting for you, Steve. Go ahead.
Well, you know, it's a little busy here at work, but I did want to make a comment here about the analog side of things. It seems to have made things a little bit choppy and unintelligible, at least on you know, my DMR radio here. So I think that, you know, I need to test it a little bit more in order to bridge analog into M17. It seemed to work when there was just the two of us on there, but, you know, now that we've got a handful of people on the network, it seemed to choke up a little bit. I thought it was because people were, keying up too fast, but it seemed to just have some issues with the audio levels. I'm not sure if it's keying via Vox or if it's keying via, network traffic. So I gotta straighten all that out. But it was a good test. But now that we've all switched back over to the clients that are designed for our system, it seems to be working pretty good. Other than that, yeah, I don't have anything else to really add. I just wanted to make a comment on what happened on the analog side here at the beginning of the net. But I'll go ahead and pass back to you, Net Control. This is KC1AWV.
Okay, Steve, thank you for that. And yes, it was a good test and of the analog side of things. And like they say, back to the drawing board. And I'll be more than happy to help you conduct further tests with that as you do whatever tweaks you need to do on your side. This is the weekly net for the M17 project. Do I have any late check-ins or anybody with questions or comments? Please call Net Control.
N2GYN with comment.
N2GYN, go ahead, John.
Okay, thanks. Well, I'm noticing on the dashboard, monitoring both Tgif and the M17 Reflector dashboard. There's two stations. One is W2 FBI, and the other one is KC1AWV-R. And they were on legacy going through Tgif. But when they key up here, I notice it shows that they were on A rather than C. So I think they've tried to check in here, but I do now see W2 FBI in C. But originally, I think he was on legacy going Tgif, and it said A. So I don't know if there might be an issue or not with the Tgif link entity we're in.
Okay, John, thank you for that. Yeah, I also have issues getting into the Tgif side where I am. I'm going to have to dedicate some time this weekend and try and straighten out my issues there. I was fine the first week I was using the DMR input, but after that it was downhill, and I wasn't able to get in at all. Does anybody have any comments or questions in regards to John and the Tgif network side of things?
Are you true, KIM?
Nico, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to ask about the Echolink support. I tried to attach to the KC1AWV node-R node from Echolink, but I cannot hear the M17 net as I would expect to. Is there any other step, like the MTF stone, or is it just the system down? Maybe KC1AWV can explain more on that.
Steve, feel free to take it in regards to your Echolink setup.
Okay, Nico. Yeah, we seem to have an issue going between the analog to M17. What I want to say is what's happening is that we're going from analog to DMR to M17. So there's a bridge from analog to M17, but DMR is the intermediary because I don't have a module that I can go from analog to DMR just yet. That is in the plan for something for me to do, but I've got other projects that are coming up, like the GM300 board before Wojciech decides to make mention of it again. That's on my platter right now before anything else really. So once I have a analog to M17 bridge that I can put in for Allstar, then that will work a whole lot more stably. But right now it's running off of a Raspberry Pi, which is obviously way too overutilized right now to handle the M17 to DMR. So I'll work on that when I have a chance. But it was just a test. We wanted to see if it would work. When there's not a whole lot of people on, it seems to be doing just fine. But when we got a bunch of people, keying up, and then from different sides of the network, it seems to be causing some quality issues on the analog side. And it's really an analog side problem. It's not a digital side. It's not a DMR problem. It's not an M17 problem. It's the way that I have the analog side set up. So hopefully next time we'll have everything squared away and working on that. KC1AWV, back to Net Control.
Thank you for that, Steve. Nico, I hope that answered your question. Do you have anything else for Steve in regards to that?
Yeah, IU2KIN here. No, thank you, Steve. Your answer was very reasonable. Yeah, find them mouse. Sorry. So yeah, when you will have time to build a proper bridge, I will be more than happy to test it. But for now, it's fine like this. Maybe I will try it in a point-to-point fashion offline with some other people. Thank you, anyways, for the explanation. To you, Net Control.
Alrighty. Do we have any late check-ins or anyone else with questions or comments for the net? Please call Net Control N2XDD.
N2GYN would follow up.
All right, John, please come with your follow-up.
Yeah, okay. So what I did was I logged into Tgif 1017, and I'm showing up on the M17 Reflector, but as A. So the link that is supposedly on now is in the A. Like if you look at the dashboard, I'm logged in on both C and A rather than just the C. So I don't know what's up with that setting. It sounds more like a setting than anything else. So just to let you know that it comes up on a dashboard, but it says A when instead of being into C. So if that helps anyone trying to work on it. Answer Joanne. Back to Net.
All right, John, thank you for that. I'm not sure, maybe it's possible that Doug did not have a chance to switch it over from A to C before the net began. I'm not sure about that. Steve, do you know if Doug switched it at all? KC1AWV N2XDD Net Control.
Well, I have a feeling that if we're not being heard on M17 Charlie with Tgif, I would say that Doug may have had some other pressing issues that he needed to take care of and wasn't able to switch it over. It is a manual process to switch over from Alpha to Charlie. Maybe we can script it or figure out something that we can do in order to automate the process, or even just have a permanent pass into M17C at a later date. But yeah, it's a manual process. I believe that Doug may have just had something else come up and he wasn't able to switch it over for us. Back to you, KC1AWV.
Thanks again, Steve. SP5WWP and 2XPD. Wilshire, do you have anything to add to the net this week? You've been kind of quiet over there.
Of course I do. I've been trying to transmit M17 using QO100 satellite with success, I think. It worked. So my setup was a rather big dish of 1.8 meters of diameter, and I've used 14 watts of power to get on the QO100 satellite. And the satellite bounced back my signal on 10.5 gigahertz, and that was amazing when I saw the peak showing on the spectrum. So that was nice. And it was M17 generated by my Pluto SDR. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to decode it because the signal was going up and down in frequency. And I'm not sure why. Maybe because that in the LNB, so the converter, there's TCXO, and it's not stable enough to generate 10.5 or something like that local oscillator signal. So the signal coming back from the satellite appeared like it's going up and down. So I wasn't able to decode it. But I did it, and it worked. So it's definitely possible. We just have to compensate for the frequency drift by using a stable 24 megahertz reference, or I don't know really what else can be done. So back to you, net control.
I thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions or comments in regards to the experiment that was conducted earlier today with M17?
U2KAN.
Nico, go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations, Watcher, for what you are doing. I mean, it's so amazing that each week that passes by, we are breaking more records and achieving more interesting things. And I mean, we on one side we keep pushing like slowly, constructing a solid protocol with a nice implementation. But on the other side, we manage to even in midway to achieve amazing stuff. And apart from this, I wanted to say that yeah, one way could be to stabilize. I mean, to what I know, people have been either opening up their LNBs and replacing the clock source with a more stable one, which basically resolves the problem because they are LNBs usually are a crappy hardware which have a major frequency drift. But I heard that basically the easiest path is just to compensate this in software by having some piece of software which capturing is able to capture one of the beacons of the QO100 at the receiving side, and basically locks at that beacon and retunes the SDR as the beacon moves. Therefore, what you see is something which is stable because your SDR is continuously being slowly retuned to follow the thermal drift. So I believe that's the way to go because if you mod your own LMB, it will work for you. But if we code one piece of software which does the drift compensation, it will work for any other people out there which has an LMB, and therefore we are lowering the threshold for people to, for example, receive the signal that you are transmitting to QO100 to unit control.
Nico, I don't know if you dropped it or you were done with your transmission. You just come back real quick?
Yeah, sorry, probably I dropped the last seconds. I really have to get a better mouse, but I hope my my last transmission was complete. So I ended up with preferring the software drift compensation. I believe you have received that. Can you confirm net control?
Yes, confirmed. Your explanation was very detailed, and we did get most of it, probably except for the last syllable or two. So, do you have anything else to add on U2KIN?
I use UKN here. No, that was it, really. Just to sum up, congratulations again, and let's try to do this, to do stuff so that it's easily reproducible with low-cost hardware. I mean, a dish and an LMBs are very cheap to be found, and if we can, I mean, it can be also a challenge thrown to people, at least in the, which can see the QO100, so people in Europe and in Brazil and in China. For them, it might be interesting to try the code, an M17 transmission on that satellite. I would really, on one side, work to make this possible, like as a stunt for us, but on the other side, try to enable people to reproduce your setup by, for example, coding, making open source software for the decoding, and try not to do hardware modification and to, I mean, use expensive hardware. That's my point. Thank you for giving me another few seconds of traffic. To you, net control.
Hey, you're very welcome. No need to thank us. It's all about sharing here and expressing our opinions to make our projects that much better. And without the input of everyone, that's not possible. SP5WWP, would you like to reply to that?
Yes, of course, but I will be very concise as I have to leave in a second. So we can't use the beacon because we are using the wideband transponder, and the beacon is about 1 megahertz wide, or over 1 megahertz wide. On the narrowband, it's about it's a continuous wave beacon or FSK. I'm not sure. It's about 1 kilohertz, maybe maximum. So it's possible on the narrowband transponder and not on the wideband. We have started a Reddit thread on r/handevs. There's a thread started by me, so you can ask questions there when I'm not here. And the last thing is that I have opened some issues on GitHub concerning the specifications, so you can take a look at that also. And that's about it. So over to you, net control.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And check out the post on Reddit under the Ham Devs subreddit. Do we have any late check-ins or anyone else with questions, comments, or concerns in regards to the M17 project or the OpenRTX project? Please come now. Okay, gentlemen, hearing nothing, I'll start the closing procedures for this week's net. I'd like to thank all those stations that checked in today for participating and supporting. Your help in maintaining this net is appreciated by one and all. This is Ed, N2XDD, and the net is now secured at 17:35 UTC hours. 7-3, gentlemen, have a great weekend.
Is it too late to try to check in? KC1AWV-R.
KC8ACO, we have you down as check-in.
Thank you very much.
KC8ACO and 2GYN, sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had mentioned your call to the net earlier because I believe you were trying to log in through Tgif, if I'm not mistaken. So I had mentioned it. We're suspecting the gentleman that switches it over from to module A to C was not available this week. So that's most likely why you were on Tgif 1017 and not getting through. And did you win?
Yeah, that was me and Tarek. Yeah, I think that we're on TJF and couldn't get in, and I only just got switched over to here. I'm a bit viper on the chat, but made it work, and apparently it works on the phone at least. So KC8ACO, back to you.
Yeah, okay, very good. I just wanted to let you know you were seen and reported that you were trying to get in. You and W2FBI, who eventually did show up on the dash here. But normally you would be able to get in the way you were trying to. But they normally keep it on A module during the week, and for the net they switch it to C. But they never got switched. So just to give you a heads up, I felt bad because I could tell this guy's trying to check in. So anyway, good to have you aboard. All right, 7-3, KC8ACO, when did you win?
And 73 to you, KC8ACO.